So I went and saw the new movie They Will Kill You, which stars Zazie Beetz. Asia Reeves enters the Virgil expecting a fresh start, but the building reveals itself as a labyrinth of ritualistic violence, occult hierarchy, and predatory luxury. The story unfolds over a single feverish night, with Asia navigating floors that shift in tone and danger. Dining halls that hide butcher rooms, immaculate suites concealing shrines, and service corridors that become arenas for ritual combat. Each encounter escalates the building's mythology, residents who regenerate after being maimed, a leadership class that treats murder as a ceremony, and a history of vanished workers whose fates become horrifyingly clear. The plot's momentum comes from Asia's desperate improvisation, using cleaning tools, broken decor, and even the building's mechanical systems to survive. While uncovering the truth behind the Virgil's promise of immortality, the Virgil literalizes the idea of the wealthy feeding on the working class. Its residents maintain their comfort and longevity through ritual sacrifice, turning economic inequality into a supernatural food chain. The film repeatedly contrasts the building's immaculate luxury with the bloodshed required to sustain it, making the setting itself a metaphor for exploitative systems. Residents' ability to regenerate becomes a visual shorthand for ethical rot. Their bodies reset, but their humanity erodes, leaving them bored, cruel, and numb. The film uses this to critique the fantasy of consequence-free power. Immortality doesn't elevate them, it strips them of their humanity. The movie stitches together grindhouse gore, slapstick splatter, and high-octane action. Practical effects echo Evil Dead 2 and Sleepy Hollow, while wirework and stylized choreography evokes Hong Kong action cinema. These references aren't subtle, they're part of the film's identity, creating a self-aware, ambitious, and bold tone. Asia's main objective, to find her sister, adds emotional stakes to the carnage. Their relationship, which is strained, unresolved, and complicated, introduces a human thread amid the spectacle, which I think was handled better than in Ready or Not 2, where they kind of had a similar plot going. Zazie Beetz as Asia delivers a performance that blends physical intensity with grounded vulnerability. She sells both the exhaustion of survival and the emotional weight of confronting her sister. She's almost like the horror John Wick, but bloodier and more badass. She's the film's stabilizing force to the human center in a world of escalating absurdity. Mai Hala plays Maria as quietly controlled rather than overtly dramatic. She's emotionally scarred, sensible about the Virgil's horrors, and occasionally chilling in her acceptance of the building's logic. She provides the film's emotional counterweight to Asia's kinetic fury, delivering small, precise moments that register long after the gore subsides. That contrast creates friction and stakes. Patricia Arquette plays the superintendent cult leader with a mix of maternal warmth and deranged conviction. Performance gives the film its most unsettling moments, especially as Lilith's devotion to the building rituals become increasingly unhinged. As Lilith's partner, Patterson Joseph brings subtlety to a character torn between centuries-old loyalty and a growing moral crisis. His wariness contrasts sharply with Lilith's fervor, hinting at a richer backstory to the film, which is only partially explored. Heather Graham and Tom Felton both lean to the film's heightened tone, playing their cult member roles with theatrical menace that fits the movie's pulpy sensibility. They provide most of the film's slapstick foolery and action sequences. Kirill Sokolov approaches the film like a cinematic carnival ride, fast, loud, and visually inventive. His background in action comedy shows in the film's rhythm, long takes of chaotic fights, sudden bursts of slapstick gore, and willingness to push violence into absurdity. Pacing favors momentum over mystery, revealing the building's secrets early and then escalating through spectacle rather than plot twists. The film's commitment to old school effects, fake heads, puppetry, reverse shot gags, gives the violence a tactile charm. Combined with wirework and CGI enhancements, the action sequences feel both nostalgic and modern. The Virgil's interiors evoke the Overlook Hotel's uncanny symmetry and Severance's stale corporate dread. The uniforms and costumes in this movie, color-coded hallways, and ritual chambers create a sense of institutionalized horror, as if the building itself enforces the cult's hierarchy. And it kind of reminded me a bit of like the Continental from the John Wick movies. Tight claustrophobic framing heightens the sense of entrapment, while sudden wide shots reveal the scale of building's labyrinth. The camera often lingers on grotesque set pieces like floating feathers, blood-slicked floors, and ritual altars, turning violence into visual punctuation. And I give They Will Kill You an A+, a 9 out of 10. I think it's better than Ready or Not, Here I Come. That might be a hot take, but I really enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's more ambitious, I think it's more bold, and I think there's a better balance of like the horror, action, and comedy. This is my opinion on it. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Ready or Not 2 is better, or do you think They Will Kill You is better? I'd like to hear your thoughts down below, and let me know your thoughts on this movie down below. I also have my review of Ready or Not 2 that is already out. You can check that on my page, but yeah, I hope you did enjoy, and don't forget to like and follow.